Tonight, we're not just looking at an SUV. We're looking at emotion shaped into metal, speed wrapped in elegance, and heritage reborn in a modern form. The 2025 Maserati Levante arrives as a reminder that a vehicle can still have a soul. From the very first glance, you can feel it. The long, sculpted hood, the wide stance, and that unmistakable Italian presence that doesn't try to shout, yet commands attention anyway. As the light hits the front grille, the design immediately tells a story of performance. The proportions are balanced like a grand tourer rather than a bulky SUV. The headlights stretch sharply into the fenders, giving the car a focused expression, almost like it's studying the road ahead before it even moves. Every curve is intentional, every vent functional, and nothing feels excessive. This isn't about decoration, this is about character. Step around the side, and the silhouette becomes even more dramatic. The roofline slopes gently, creating a coupe-like profile that suggests motion even while parked. Large wheels fill the arches perfectly, not oversized, not exaggerated, just right. The body lines flow from front to rear in a single uninterrupted motion, like a brushstroke on a canvas. This is where engineering meets art, and the result feels timeless rather than trendy. At the rear, the personality changes slightly. The taillights glow with a sharp, confident signature, while the quad exhaust tips remind you this machine wasn't built only for comfort. It was built to move, to respond, to accelerate with emotion rather than just numbers. The Levante never looks aggressive for the sake of intimidation. Instead, it looks purposeful, like it understands speed as a responsibility. But the real experience begins when the doors open. Inside, the atmosphere changes from dramatic to intimate. Leather surfaces wrap around the cabin, stitched carefully as if crafted by hand rather than assembled by machines. The dashboard feels clean and driver-focused, with modern digital displays integrated without overwhelming the classic luxury environment. Ambient lighting glows softly across panels, creating warmth instead of distraction. This is not a cockpit designed to impress at first glance. It's designed to feel right over time. The steering wheel sits perfectly in your hands, thick enough to suggest control, but refined enough to feel elegant. Paddle shifters rest behind it, hinting that performance is always within reach. Even standing still, you can imagine the response. A slight press of the accelerator and the entire vehicle awakens. And once it moves, the personality truly reveals itself. The Levante doesn't surge forward violently. It builds momentum smoothly, confidently, like a wave gathering strength. The engine note rises gradually, a deep tone rather than a harsh roar, reminding you this is a performance machine with refinement, not chaos. As speed increases, the suspension adapts effortlessly, keeping the ride composed whether cruising the highway or carving through winding roads. Through corners, it behaves more like a sports sedan than a tall SUV. The steering feels alive, communicating the road rather than isolating it. You sense grip, weight transfer, balance, all subtle but unmistakable. Instead of separating you from the driving experience, the car invites you into it. You don't just travel, you participate. On long journeys, the character shifts again. The cabin becomes quiet, almost serene. Wind noise fades, road vibrations soften, and the vehicle transforms into a grand tourer. Hours pass without fatigue because the car isn't fighting the road, it's flowing with it. Music sounds richer, conversations feel calmer, and distance seems shorter than it really is. At night, under city lights, reflections glide across the bodywork like moving water. The headlights illuminate the road ahead with precision, while the interior lighting creates a lounge-like atmosphere. The Levante becomes less of a machine and more of a companion, something that adapts to your mood rather than forcing its own. This balance is what defines it. Performance without harshness, luxury without detachment, technology without coldness. It doesn't chase extremes, it blends them. In a world filled with SUVs competing for attention through size, screens, and specifications, this vehicle stands apart by focusing on feeling. It reminds us that driving can still be emotional, that comfort and excitement can coexist, and that elegance doesn't need to be loud to be powerful. The 2025 Maserati Levante isn't trying to be the fastest, the biggest, or the most futuristic. It's trying to be memorable. And sometimes that's exactly what makes something extraordinary. Because long after the engine stops and the lights fade, what remains isn't the horsepower figure or the feature list. It's the experience you felt behind the wheel.